So the next presentation is going to be by Team N, and as in Nancy. They're going to be talking about left turn assist. Team N, please come onto the dais.
While they're preparing, one thing I observed, hold the mic either bottom or on the top, because you guys are obstructing it. And we want to make sure all your speech goes into the video, because we're going to give it back to you guys. This is like a memory, or you can use it for college, whatever it is. And then the other thing, I just confirmed with our judges, they're gracious enough to offer, if any one of you wants to do internship during your summer, all these judges are offering to take some of the students to expose you guys to real world.
I have a healthcare IT company, so if anybody is interested in healthcare IT or healthcare administration, contact me.
Thank you, Krishna. This would be a great opportunity for these young kids. Go ahead.
They need one more mic.
So we're left turn assist systems, or LTA, and we envision a world where we have 0 car crashes, and we are trying to reduce the amount of accidents that happen because of left turns.
Hi, my name is Aditya Deboli.
Hi, I'm Sarah Reddy.
Hi, I'm Anish Agrawal.
Hi, I'm Akil Dalreddy.
And I'm Shane Reddy, and our mentor is Samir Burma.
So, what exactly are we trying to solve here? How many of you guys actually drive? By a show of hands. So basically everybody. This pertains to you. So there's several instances where you're turning left and your view is obstructed and you're scared to turn, to make that turn. Well, see, this is kind of hard to explain. Let's watch a video.
Don't count the time during the video play. Hello. Don't count the time that while the video.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurts. So you're just cruising along, you know, normal day, and all of a sudden, this guy thinks he can turn left, and you're in the way. What happens? Crash. Everyone's hurt. So in fact, this came to be because I had this moment. I needed to turn left, and there's a massive, like, GMC Yukon or one of those big trucks blocking my way, and I was scared because I was in a rush and I needed to go, but I was scared to turn left, and then it popped into my mind, what if there was some sort of solution to this, and I knew if it was safe to turn left. And in this picture right here, you can see that the white car is trying to turn left, but then there's a massive truck blocking its point of view. So the solution is very simple. We're going to implement sensors in a safe distance away from the intersection, and once it detects movement, it'll signal a light saying, don't go, there's someone there. But then if there's no light, safe to go, easy method. So let's go more in depth into the solution technology. So this solution itself deals with sensors and a light. Very simple. The sensors are top of the line. You know garage sensors, right? Everybody has them. And once they detect movement, they go off. This is similar to that, but basically on steroids. It can track any movement to a minimal amount, and with a click of like a snap, they know that if there's movement or not. And these sensors will be implemented on the side of the roads within the curb And this is better because pedestrians won't be able to disturb it because it's in the curb and no pedestrian will be walking on the road because that's pretty dangerous.
All right, so now let's talk about our business plan. Essentially, first we need to incorporate our firm. We're calling it LTA Systems, and we're just going to come up with a financial plan, get all of our patents approved and all of that. So when you're implementing something on a transportation system, you have to get a national contract. We did some research and we found out that systems like NTTA and like Toll Tag, they pay about $980 for a national contract. But that's just a one-time fee. There's really not much of a fixed cost at the very start. But then after that, because each of these road systems happens on the city or state level, we need to go to each and every local government, and we're going to essentially pitch our plan to them about how we can try to reduce the amount of accidents that happen on these left turns. So now on the costs, it costs about $100 for the sensor technology itself. Right now we're trying to implement from a supplier in China called AccuSense, but that's subject to change based upon prices. We're always looking to reduce our costs. Then all of the other raw materials cost around $900. So for the total intersection, we have 8 sensors per intersection. There are 4 sides to an intersection, and 2 sensors to each lane. So for each of these 8 sensors, it costs us $1,000, and we're going to sell our product at $5,000. So what we want to do is essentially implement this on a smaller scale at first, but then after we start to test it out and we realize its success, we're going to expand, and we're just going to contract construction companies to do that for us.
So like Chaitan said, we're going to be selling this to state, city, and county governments, and then we're also going to be providing the labor that was included in the $900. So we also hope to partner with insurance companies simply because it provides benefits for them. Not in the sense that they're going to have stakes in our companies, but because by reducing the amount of crashes, we're helping them save money, which is why they would do that. And we also hope to expand on a global scale because all countries have roads, and all countries have crashes. So the big advantage about ours is that there's no existing technology to help solve this problem. And again, 55.7% of all crashes come with recognition error. They don't see like the car coming or there's something blocking their view. So we're helping a lot with this. And again, like with some of the, I guess, weaknesses you could say is we have to get approval from the traffic authorities, which shouldn't take more than like 6 months or so. And along with this, they're going to be helping us with doing extensive testing, which is why we're going to start with 1 to 5 devices. And we're also going to be testing the quality of the sensors to make sure we're buying it from the best company in China. And again, with the competition, we're going to be exploring the options for a patent. And again, we'll be ahead of the market compared to any company who tries to develop similar technology simply because we're the first to do this and we would have already have researched and examined this.
Let's just get a hold of the fact that there's 400,000 intersections across the US, and then think about the whole globe. And not only that, there's a great potential to expand on the product because there's small streets and neighborhoods, there's highways which could use a sensor to ensure the safety of the citizens. And why would cities and governments be interested in this? Well, the government acts to ensure the safety of the public and keep them happy, so why would you pass up on something which increases a chance of 50%, there's a 50% chance that you hit another car when you're taking the turn. With the sensor, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to be safe, so why would you want to pass it up?
For the finances, we're each putting in $5,000 for a total of $25,000, but that's not enough. So we're asking for the $50,000 to use for administration and for a stronger startup. But we're not only asking for the $50,000, we're also asking for your advice and constructive criticism.
Okay, so let's get into some numbers. Off the first month, we're going to build a prototype and monitor it and get feedback. Over the next 2 months, let's say we start in January, over February and March, we will build 5 more each month, get feedback, and then right after that, on the 4th month, we'll be able to, with your 50K, we'll be able to hit the ground running and build a lot more at a lot faster pace. And if you can see towards the end, we'll be able to produce $1.7 million of profit, which is quite a bit for the first year. And with the 25K, if you can tell the difference, we will not be able to grow as fast.
So essentially, we envision a world where there are zero accidents. And while that's not possible, we want to try to reduce that risk as much as possible. So when you're going home today and you're taking that inevitable left turn and you're driving back in your driveway, think about us, LTA Systems. We're making the world safer one turn at a time.
Great idea. Have you talked to any cities with this idea? See what they think about it?
Not yet. We're planning to. Once we get enough funds and start the project.
Yeah, the challenge would be for cities. I mean, this is a great idea, but something you need to pitch. Obviously, the challenge is who's going to pay for it, and who's going to monitor it, who's going to come. Right. So that's the thing.
So we believe that like governments and city, state, national governments, they're all interested in the safety of their citizens. And especially because we think that the cost of this isn't as great as many other government transportation or construction products, we believe that governments would be willing to build or invest in these kinds of projects.
And also, after extensive growth, we'll be hiring a couple people to monitor and keep updating our infrastructure and software technology.
Along with this, for whoever's going to be monitoring it, it's similar to traffic lights. Whoever is in control of that can also help with these lights.
It's a great idea. In fact, it has a lot of application even to the driverless cars that are coming up. It's a great idea. I think, to the point earlier, I think you should go to the insurance companies to get paid. The governments are not going to pay for it. The insurance companies will.
Yeah, actually, we've been thinking about that too, because the way many driverless cars work is they have this camera that rotates around and they try to sense cars. So we think that if we can build this sensor that just lights up, if these driverless cars can have it built into their own systems, just look for this sensor, and we're essentially making the world even safer.
I'm interested in this idea, so we can talk about it.
I think all of us are.
What I would suggest is, go to the schools you're in, produce some, see if they will put it on their parking lots, right? It'd be a good idea to kind of show a prototype up and working in your schools. Innovative idea, as everybody said, is a great potential.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Team E as a network. They're going to be talking about travel aid. It's travel vaccination alert. So while they're getting ready, any of the judges want to give a piece of advice to all these young entrepreneurs?
Sure. On just the presentation, quick observation. When you're pitching, nobody wants to know who you are and what your position is. Spend very little time, maybe at the end. If the idea is really, you can hit the elevator pitch. Why? What's the problem? What's your solution? Why it's not already been done? You hit those three things, and once you hit home with those message, you can spend time on financials. Financials can be anywhere. Nobody knows really how financial will shape up. So spend more time on those three. Why somebody should care about it, why it's not already done, what's your innovation?
Good. Okay. So we're Team E, and so my name is Swarn Velody, and yeah, I'm a partner and CTO.
Well, first, our app is called Travel Aid.
So we're creating an app that's called Travel Aid, and again, Swarn Velody.
I'm Kirtana Kamboji, and I'm the CEO.
I'm Priyanka Reddy. I'm the CFO.
I'm Ashlesh, and I'm the CMO of this company.
Okay, so the problem. How many of you know what hepatitis A is? Malaria or TB disease? Well, if you're
people who don't know, it's diseases that are really common in third world countries. For example, in South America, it has a huge hepatitis A problem. So the main problem that our app it counteracts is the problem that tourists who go to these third world countries don't have the proper knowledge of these medical issues or diseases. Like, for example, I mean, we all go to India, especially I go to India every year, yet I don't know half the diseases that are in India. I really don't. I just have to listen to my mom. So a lot of these people don't have the knowledge that these diseases, they are fatal. They can kill you, but they don't know. So that's why our app comes to play. It gives you a free... So again, billion people travel to the world. It gives you vaccines, what diseases are there, what are the medications, and where you can get those. So hospitals, pharmacies, local, and where are the hotspots, so what to avoid. So like I said, so it's going to be a mobile app that's going to be available on both the Android and Apple software. And it's a travel app that pretty much it has the capability to track what vaccinations you've already taken. It tells you where you're going, so if you input where you're going, it tells you, okay, these are the main diseases, these are the vaccinations, here's where you can get them, here's where to avoid, and it keeps a track. So it's also very useful for immigrants who are coming, right? They have to give what vaccinations are you currently up to date with. If they have this app, they can easily show it. So it's a quick way to track your vaccinations and a quick way to solve this disease problem. So how the interface works is it's going to be similar to Google Maps. I'm sure everyone has Google Maps. So you would input where you're going, and instead of focusing on the geography part, it would focus on the medical terms. So here's the main hospitals, and on the side, it'll have a bar saying, okay, vaccinations, vaccination log, and then where can you get them. So that's how the interface works.
Okay, so for the business model, Travelity is basically a mobile app that will be available on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. In addition, since we don't have customer service because it's an app, the partners, all of us, will monitor the company email and answer any customer-related questions or concerns. Now, since it's an app, it'll be low cost for brick-and-mortar locations. And finally, one of the expenses that will be discussed later is a medical expert. We need to hire a medical expert to input accurate and up-to-date information, and he'll check it periodically every year. SWOT analysis. Okay, so for strengths, since it's an app, it's highly accessible, user-friendly, and efficient. Weaknesses. Competition with physicians basically means like the tourists can basically call their physician or doctors regarding what diseases reside there, and also what vaccinations should be suggested. Customer service, like I discussed before, and then requiring access to technology, that's just a potential weakness because our target people are tourists. So if they can travel internationally, then we believe that they would also have a smartphone. Opportunities. In our research, it showed that for the 2014 international tourism, it was 1.2 billion. And then in 2015, it was 1.4 billion. Thus, it grew 4.4% or 50 million. And we're hoping that if this trend continues, then our market will continue to grow also. Physicians, like I explained before, it's just that tourists can call other doctors and physicians regarding the diseases and vaccinations. And other threats would be travel companies, travel websites, and travel apps.
Okay, so the industry and finance projections that we have. First of all, we have two different industries that we're targeting. The vaccine industry, or the app and mobile app industry, and then the travel industry. So when we look at the global travel market, there's about 1.2 billion people just this year that are traveling, and this is only growing exponentially each year. So what we want to target in our first year is only 0.2%, because that's the most realistic that we could find, which is about 480,000 people. And then if we have the App Store, if we put our app on the App Store, what we found is that Apple takes 30% of the profit. So if we sold it for 99 cents on the App Store, we would only be making 69 cents per download. So if we calculate that in the first year, our total revenue would be $331,000 approximately. And then each year it would grow according to the amount of people that we would be targeting. But the problem that we face isn't just vaccines, and we hope to expand our app and expand our company to more other diseases and other things in the future, so that also increase our profit margin. But we also have to calculate the costs of our app. So one of the things that Kirtana talked about was the medical expert that would be inputting the data into our app when it comes to the different diseases that we're targeting. So that would cost about $1,200 per year. And then when we want to advertise our app, we're going to use Facebook as our primary source of advertising. That would be about $7,800. And then we want to put flyers in medical offices and physicians' offices about our app because that's where the main demographic would be, and that's about $180. And then the total expense is about $9,000. So our profit margin, after all of that is calculated, is about 97% every year, and it would only grow. So yeah, just an overview of how much money we make in the first year.
Marketing. So we'll promote our app through social media like Facebook, but our main target are the patients and travelers. So we'll have brochures at local physicians to target them. And we're also targeting the healthcare professionals to use our app. Ask and utilize it. Since it's an app, we need like less money relative to other products because we don't have brick and mortar. So we're asking for $80,000 and you'll get 20% of the state. So we're going to utilize it for that. We're going to pay the app developer and the medical professional and other startup expenses.
So just to go back to the previous slide. So Appster, for those who don't know, they're a professional service that's actually ranked in the top 5 app developers in the world, and we're going to hire their services to develop the app, completely design it with all the user interface. So that's what it costs. That's why they made $50,000 to $70,000. So. Any questions?
Isn't the information about the diseases already exists on the government website?
It does, but it doesn't allow you to track what diseases, and it doesn't give you like any accessibility. It doesn't give you any accessibility. Like if you go to the CDC website, it'll tell you like what disease there is and what vaccination. But our app, how it makes it different is that you can track what you've already taken, and plus it'll show you the locations of all hospitals. So it kind of brings all that information in to one central point.
How are you going to gather the information on the hospitals in all over the world?
That's what the medical expert is for that we're hiring. We're going to hire a professional medical expert that is going to know about all of these different types of information that we would need, such as the diseases around the world, the different vaccinations for those diseases, and even the hospitals. We could use a database and potentially draw information from that database into our app. Any other questions?